whenever we want to draw a certain graph, so we can use a function that is called as ggplot. So this ggplot function has multiple, you can say, objects. The first one, in order to draw a simple graph package, we need three important components. One is the data. So how you can represent the data in a ggplot? So we are using a function called ggplot, and then we will mention a variable in which we have stored the data set. The second thing, once we have mentioning a variable in which we have a data set, the second thing we have to mention about the statics mapping. That means we should talk about what is going to be on x-axis, what is going to be on y-axis, okay? What color we are going to fill, different types of bars, what kind of lines we want to draw, what should be the size of those bars or the points, okay? So which means once we mention this axis, okay, or you can say statics of the mapping, the third thing we need to mention is the type of the plot. Okay, that means we are talking about the geometric object. Whether we are want to draw a simple bar chart, or whether we want to draw a pie chart or a histogram or box plot or a violin plot, so we have to mention the type of the plot. So in addition to these three objects in a ggplot2, so which we talk about this one. So as I told you earlier, so in data we have the data set. Okay, in that particular variable, statics x-axis, geometric we have the different types of graphs, and then we have these components which are optional. So depending upon how you can visualize your data set. Okay, so basically in a facets you can mention, you can break the plots in the small pieces. Okay, either column wise you can break it, or either you can row wise you can break it. Okay, similarly if you are interested to show some statistics on the graph, such as average, standard deviation, standard errors, confidence intervals, so then you can add this statistics object. Similarly, if you want to do some, you can say, additions in the coordinates, okay, so you can also use this particular object. Similarly, we have different type of themes, like especially in order to, you can say, change the background colors of the graph. Okay, so we have the different type of built-in themes in this ggplot2. So using these 7 to 8 objects in a ggplot2, we can draw a very good visualization graph. Okay, in order to draw the histogram or any type of the chart, so once we call the function ggplot, then we write down the variable in which we have the data set. So if you can see that, so we are calling a function ggplot, and then I am mentioning the name of the variable in which we have a data. Okay, this is the first thing. The second thing, we have to mention the statics. So which means we are mentioning x-axis, y-axis, if you want to tell the uh, type of line, or the size of the line, or the coloring perspective. So that is basically the AES function, which is statics. Okay, so this is x-axis, y-axis, right? So once we done this, so basically we have created a structure of the graph, right? We call the data, we created the x-axis as well as the y-axis. Then by adding this plus means we want to add some extra objects. Okay, so what kind of object I am adding? I am adding theme underscore BW, which is theme black and white. Okay, so which is basically I am adding this particular thing, which is basically this one. Okay, this one. So as I told you earlier, that these three things are compulsory in order to draw any type of chart. So till now in our command, we have mentioned the data, we have mentioned the statics. Now we are adding a command theme, and then I am adding the type of plot, which is the histogram. Okay, that is the third component, which is the geometric object, the type of the plot. So even, and this is not compulsory that you have to mention this theme over here. I can rearrange it, I can mention the type of the plot, and then I can mention the theme. Okay, even with the help of this one, we can able to draw the histogram. So basically, this is the name of the variable in which we have data, we have statics, we have the type of plot, okay, and then we are mentioning the extra objects which we want to add, whether we want to add the theme, whether we want to deal with the coordinates, whether we want to deal with some statistics, whether we want to show in a smaller plot which is a facets which is small or larger perspective, so that we can add in addition to that. Okay, so that is basically we are adding as well as labeling. So as you can see that actually in this plot we have basically added four things. One is the data. We have added the statics, mean x-axis, y-axis. We have tell the type of the plot. Okay. So even if I am not doing anything else, okay, if I run this command, you will draw the, you can see the histogram. Now, with the help of this plus sign and I am adding the theme. So basically I am changing the theme of background theme, that is black and white. Okay. And then I am labeling it. So what should be on y-axis, what should be on x-axis, what should be the title of the plot. So if we run it, so now we can see that on x-axis, on y-axis and the title. Okay, so for every ggplot2 plot, so you have to see the graph with respect to this one. As I mentioned earlier, these three things are compulsory for in order to draw a graph using ggplot. So you can add some factors or you can add some objects with the help of statistics, coordinates, theme, okay, depending upon what you want to do with the graph. Okay, whether you want to add some statistics such as mean, standard deviation, error bars, confidence intervals, okay, whether you want to see the graph horizontally or vertically, you can use the coordinate